What's going on, guys? We're going to be talking about the movie Scoob, and finally it's out. It's online due to the circumstances of the world that's going on right now. It did not get a theater release, but it did get a online release. And I will say, first off, if you guys are a long time fan of Scooby-Doo, you like Scooby-Doo, you got kids like Scooby-Doo, grandkids, or anybody in general that likes Scooby-Doo or just wants to watch a fun family film, I would definitely recommend this. It is a very interesting film, new take on Scooby-Doo. Now, there is things about this that I liked. There is things about this I disliked. Um, I will say, first off, it was very funny. Some of the comedy was kind of back and forth of, okay, yeah, that kind of hit the nail. Sometimes it didn't. But I will say, for casting wise, I was a little kind of, I wasn't entirely sure. I was really interested about, we got to see a lot of different characters that were really in this. Now, I will say, seeing, of course, Scooby, Shaggy, and the gang in a better animation, I found it really interesting to see. I found it really cool. It was great animation. The story pretty much went of the entirety of Scooby and Shaggy meeting when they were kids. And, well, Scooby as a pup, Shaggy as a kid. And then he has no friends. And he later meets Scooby, takes him in, adopts him. Then later on Halloween night, dresses his favorite superhero as Blue Falcon and Dynamite. We basically see that they run into Daphne, Fred, and Velma, and then become the gang. And they go through the intro of Scooby-Doo, which we got to see in the 90s, which was awesome. They just upgraded it with a modern animation, which I loved. I really did. Now, I will say the cast of the entirety of Scooby-Doo, or Scoob, I should say, was actually, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of back and forth. I really didn't know how to take it because, honestly, I was wanting to see a little more friendly faces. Now, Amanda Seyfried as Daphne, I think she did a good job. Zac Efron as Fred did a good job. All the characters, I think, was actually pretty interesting because now again, they kind of wanted to make a little more modern. I am very happy that we finally got to see the characters of just everything we wanted to see, especially Mark Wahlberg doing Blue Falcon, and we also could see where later on in the story where Shaggy and Scooby pretty much get told by Simon Cowell, because he guest stars as himself, with him being how he is. He basically says that they're the dead weight, and Scooby and Shaggy are like, okay, well, we know we're not wanted. And then they run into this whole thing of Dick Dastardly, where he tries to go after Scooby and Shaggy because Scooby is a descendant of Alexander the Great's dog, trying to open up the underworld so he could save his dog. So what's really interesting about this entirety is Scooby gets to work with, and Shaggy get to work with their so-called hero, but then later finds out this is the son of the hero that they grew up to love and respect, and they kind of go through this entirety of, okay, well, you're not your father, you're not this, you're not that. But it was, overall, the entirety of the movie was a little bit up and down for me. I enjoyed it because, one, I love Scooby-Doo. I've been a Scooby-Doo fan for so many years. I still am. Now, there was things about this I did not really care for. I was actually hoping we'd get a little bit more of the cast, maybe from the original Scooby-Doo movie, or just a lot of different ones I was assuming we were going to get, but I was still okay with the cast overall. I also think that Scoob was a great addition to the franchise. I think it took a very new look of Scooby-Doo. I think it gave fans something more to look forward to, due to Scooby-Doo is constantly changing, it's constantly upgrading the stories, the characters, the animation, the way it looks. Now, I will say there were parts in this that were very annoying, such as the part as, I want to say Tracy Morgan did this. He played as Captain Caveman, or something like that, because again, I don't remember all the characters because it's been so long, but his character was kind of annoying. Dick Dastardly, played by Jason Isaac, it was kind of annoying, but it was actually funny at the same time. Gina Rodriguez playing as Velma was a new take on Velma. I was not really used to her playing as Velma. I was so used to seeing different actors voice her, play her, so it's a little different than what I'm normally used to, but I think it was a good little take on Velma. Of course, Amanda Seyfried playing as Daphne, that had a ride on it. And of course, they went down to the way the characters would act, the way they would talk. Of course, Daphne, thinking outside the box, Fred being, oh, this, that, and the other, obsessed with the van, and Velma being, of course, her tech-savvy self. So it was a lot of things that they did bring to the table that I was actually very shocked that they did as well as they did. And, of course, playing Will Forte playing as Shaggy, I thought that was pretty interesting as well, because not a whole lot of people, everybody was saying it was going to be Matthew Leonard that was going to be doing the part of Shaggy, and there was a recent interview, he was bummed out because he's been playing the character for so long. Now, honestly, I thought he was going to be playing the character, but either way, I think the cast did a good job overall of playing the characters. I think them bringing something very new into the franchise of Scooby-Doo. Now, will there be a second Scoob movie? There's a possibility, depending on how good this does. Obviously, with the issues with going on in the world right now, obviously. But I will say my favorite part overall was them bringing back the classic Scooby-Doo intro that was in way back when. I believe it was, I can't remember if it was in the 90s or the late 70s, 80s, something like that, where it was just great to see that they moderated it to how it looks now. But it was a great film. I will say I enjoyed it. I had a lot of laughs. There was part about this I was like, okay, really? Then I just kept watching it, and I'd laugh, and then I would enjoy. And there was a lot of times I actually felt almost like a little kid again, being able to watch Scooby-Doo, because Scooby-Doo is one of those cartoons that I honestly don't think you ever get too old to really watch or enjoy, because if you watched it when you were a kid, you're going to hopefully enjoy it now. Now, there are parts about this you may like, there's parts about this you may dislike, but at the same time, it's Scooby-Doo at the end of the day, and Scooby-Doo is one of those that will live on forever, and it's going to go throughout the generations, and you're just going to take it as it comes. And if you like it, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. A lot of people were disappointed by the way that the characters looked. I honestly don't really have a problem with the way the characters look. The only thing that they really changed character-wise was what Fred was wearing. Velma, they didn't really change her look. Daphne, they didn't change her look very much either. So I was very happy with the look of the Mystery Gang. I was very happy with the tone that they set for it, with, of course, Shaggy and Scooby getting away from the gang and trying to be their own heroes by joining up with other new heroes. So I think it was a good new tale up on Scooby-Doo. And once again, guys, I know I'll be repeating myself, but I did enjoy it. There are films about Scooby-Doo that I did not enjoy. This one kind of goes between 1 and a 5 for me, or 1 out of 10. I have to give it maybe a 5. I like it, but I don't hate it. It's one of those, I'll watch it again to just enjoy it, but there are parts about this where I thought it was kind of like, where Fred was a little over the top, where I also saw where I think the characters Blue Falcon and Dino Dog was kind of over the top a little bit. Other than that, I don't really have too much issues with that, or even the character. I think they could have just done a little bit better with it, because they have brought these characters in before, and I honestly thought they were going to do it again. But either way, I'm very satisfied with Scoob. I loved it. I thought it was a cool film. Can't wait to see what else they got. So let me know what you guys think about Scoob in the comments down below. If you guys need a chance to say about subscribing, leave answers below. If you guys are enjoying your day, and I'll see you on the next one.